Welcome to Ground Control RC and welcome to the Pilot's Lounge, where we disseminate information and news and updates. This is episode 4 already. The first item I want to discuss, and whenever we learn information about products that we review after we field tested it for a while, I always try to go back and update the review page, the initial review of the product. And I've done that to several videos so far. I don't know if you've watched the initial review of a product, but don't get notifications from our channel, maybe aren't aware of the updated information. So you might want to go ahead and click that bell so that you can get updated information when we put it out. But the first item that I want to discuss is RedCon Receivers. Now, I ordered 2 of these receivers, and 4-channel and 2 6-channel receivers to use in one of my micro park jets. Well, they had issues right out of the box. I mean, they would, you should have a solid light after you bind it up if you have a steady signal. Now, a couple of them would have a steady light when you bound to them, telling you that there's no problems, and a couple of them, the light, the LED light was always flashing. It was like it was always having communications error. But I went ahead and installed one of them in my little Glue and Fly Series F22 Micro. Took it out for a flight. First flight went fine. There was no problems. The second or third time that I took out and flew it, I had a receiver failure. Crashed the Micro F22 and ended up having to retire that airframe. That was probably the 3rd or 4th crash it had been involved in due to component failures. So I do not recommend RedCon receivers, and I will not be buying any more RedCon receivers. So just to put that information out there, I'm sure there's people who have had good luck with them, but I'm not one of them. And I can only comment on the ones that I've used. The next item that I want to talk about is the Dualsky 3S Lipo, 800 milliamp. It's 25C. And with my Velcro on here and my XT30 connector, it weighs 62.84 grams. I did an initial review of this. The weight's really good for an 800 milliamp 3-cell for a 25C. The internal resistance on the cells was really good, comparing it to other batteries that perform very well. But I didn't have a chance to field test it until lately. So I have field tested this battery in one of our Glue and Fly Series F22 version 1s. And it's kind of my thrasher plane now for practicing line of sight. And I didn't work a lot on that plane to make it extremely aerodynamic like I did the micros and like I did version 2 of the F22 Mini. But I was getting 8 to 9 minutes of flight time out of this battery on the prop and motor combination that we recommend for those planes. And it's a fairly efficient combination of prop and motor that we have on those planes. But I really like, I test flew it with this 800 milliamp, and I test flew it with some zippy 1000 milliamp 3-cell lipos, which are quite a bit heavier than this 800. And I really like the weight in the Glue and Fly Series Mini Park Jets with this 800 milliamp 3-cell in it. So I'm going to be buying a couple more of these. The only downside to this battery is that, it's a 25C 800 milliamp, so it's capable of providing 20 amps of power continuously. So I don't, it came with a JST connector. I love the battery, but I don't understand the thought processes on some of these battery manufacturers. Why are you putting a JST connector on a LiPo that can provide 20 amps continuous power? I mean, I don't use JST's connectors for anything that's over 10 amps. I go to an XT30 connector, and if it's above 30 amps, I get to an XT60. So other than that's the only downside. I would recommend, if you buy one of these batteries, the first thing you do is you remove the JST connector and you install an XT30 connector. We also produced a tutorial video with this specific battery, removing the JST connector and installing an XT30, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. But this is an excellent battery, and like I said, I'm going to be ordering a couple more of those for my mini part jets. The next item I want to talk about is the Eachine Lizard 95. I love this little quadcopter. It is so fast and it's got so much power, but the video system on this thing is junk. You know, I don't know any other way to put it. When I first got this quadcopter and was first set it up, I was getting ready to go out and fly it, and I was testing the FPV camera. If I put it in 25 milliwatt power, it was flaky. I mean, it would kick in and it would kick out. If I put it into 100 milliwatt power, it would completely shut down. So I ordered it from Banggood. So I let Banggood know what was going on, took videos of it, took pictures of it, all that kind of stuff. So they sent me a replacement camera for the Eachine Lizard 95, and the camera was a little bit different. The original FPV camera, the power leads were coming out underneath, to one edge and underneath, so it didn't interfere with putting it inside the frame. Well, the replacement one that they sent actually has the power leads coming out of the corner and on the side. So I had to actually put a couple of spacers in the frame just to make room for it. But same thing, I took it out flying and I flew it for about a minute and a half and the FPV camera shut down on me. So, and I'm not the only person having this issue. I know there are others having the same issue with the original camera that came on the Eachine Lizard 95 and the replacement camera that's made specifically for the Eachine Lizard 95. Do not buy that camera. I'm going to put either the BoldClash F08 micro all-in-one on here that has a built-in DVR, which I think would be really nice, or I'm going to put in a CM275T micro camera on this. That's what I'm going to go with. But these cameras, I don't know. I've purchased a lot of micro FPV cameras, all-in-one cameras. These are the first ones I've had this kind of issue with. So I love the Lizard, but there's an update on the review of the Lizard. The FPV cameras, the stock one, the replacement one, in my opinion, they're junk. Get something else. Okay? So the next time I want to talk about is one of my favorite planes. This is the XK Edge A430 stunt plane. Now I had some issues with this plane right out of the box, but a motor upgrade and a prop upgrade replacement. Now it's a beautiful flying plane. I absolutely love it. But there's a sweet spot on this elevator setup. It took me a while to get the elevator in the position that the plane liked it in. So what I would recommend is if you are taking out and you're flying it and you notice that it doesn't have very good elevator authority, going in one direction, either climbing or diving. What I recommend you do is remove this clevis. If you've got more down authority than you have up authority, turn this clevis one turn, clockwise to pull the clevis in, bring your elevator up a little bit, fly it again. But make micro adjustments on that, because this thing is really finicky about how this elevator is trimmed. And it took me 4 or 5 flights and adjustments to find the sweet spot where this plane liked that elevator to be, so that I had as much authority climbing as I did diving. And if you watched any of our recent videos on this plane, flying it with the upgraded motor and prop, you'll see that it's flying extremely nice now. So if you're having that kind of issue, that's what I would recommend that you do. And here's the sneak peek. We have one sneak peek. Do you notice anything different about this plane? It has a micro FPV system on top of it, but do you notice anything else about this plane that's different? It has a brushless motor on it now. I did a complete brushless conversion of this plane. I have already done the test flights. I'm not going to tell you about them. They were successful or they were not. But I will be posting them very soon. And stay tuned for that. I'm sure that you're going to want to see it. So there's your sneak peek. The WL Toys F949 Cessna 182 with a complete brushless conversion on it. And that's all I'm going to say. All right, so thanks for tuning in to the Pilot's Lounge. Thanks for watching us on Ground Control RC. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out our Patreon site, because we have a lot of free content there as well. And I will see you in the air.